Okay, so we are now recording. Just so I have it on the recording, do I have your consent to participate in this interview and for it to be recorded?
Yes, you do.
Awesome, thanks. Cool, so we'll go ahead and get started. So first off, just want to ask, I know we have, you filled out, I think, a demographic survey from the last study that you participated in over the summer. But I know, people's work situations have changed since then. People might have moved. So can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and, what you do for work, where you're living, things like that?
No worries. I basically do consulting on how to better run your customer service departments.
Okay.
Pretty much I've been working from home and
Mm-hmm.
working with, really it's been kind of interesting because now from working from home, I've started getting more clients that are having remote customer service. And so they're wanting to know how to revamp and redo that and make it work for them. And so it's been kind of an interesting thing. And I have to say I've been almost busier than I was before COVID.
Yeah, totally. And so by customer service, do you mean, is this you're consulting mostly people who are doing face-to-face customer service, or is this like phone support, live chat, okay, gotcha.
Teach them how to organize it, get it set up to where it's more efficient and more you have more customer satisfaction through the situation.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like one of those things that has really declined in the United States since the last few years.
Yeah. And so with more people going remote, are those people who might have normally been customer facing at first and now they've gone remote, so they're figuring out virtual ways to support customers?
Yeah, they're trying to integrate a way to talk where they could still have that same feel, but still be remote, which can be a hard thing to get across. Yeah, so. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I actually used to work in customer experience. So I remember using Zendesk and all of that stuff to communicate with customers and stuff. And where are you located right now?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay. Cool. Great. So first I'll just start by asking you some questions about how the pandemic has impacted you over the last year and how you might have coped with some of these challenges. So first off, what are some of the most prominent changes in your personal life since the start of the pandemic last year?
Probably my social life has changed a lot. There's not a lot of going out. It's mostly staying in. I spend a lot more time with my family, I guess. I could say that. I will say it was hard to get used to at first because you don't spend a lot of time with your family. And so it caused a lot of where we'd be angry at each other for not even knowing what it is. It was just that we were together for so long that you're just ugh. And then just basically maybe more I guess more hygiene things have changed. I make sure I wash my hands all the time. Whereas before I probably didn't do it all the time. After I went out in public, anytime I come home, now I wash my hands, stuff like that, and the masks. So.
For sure. Yep. So those social changes to hygiene, things like that.
Those have been work was a big change for me, going completely remote. But to me, it was better. I like it better.
Yeah, but so going remote was the biggest change in your work life?
I would say so. Just because I had more face-to-face interactions and I was in an office at the time. And now that I'm working, I'm pretty much always at the house. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. And it's, what do you like better about it, being more remote now?
I feel like I kind of am working my own schedule a little bit, a little bit. And I feel like I can get more done because I'm in a more comfortable environment. And then I can kind of multitask between taking care of things here and things at work. Some days you want to escape and leave the house for a little bit, but for the most part, it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And I know you had mentioned broadly changes in your social life. And so I just wanted to ask, are there any, can you tell me more about what some of those changes have been besides not seeing people as much?
Yeah, we used to have dinners here every weekend with friends and whatnot. Yeah, so that kind of fell off. Going out for a drink, after work, meeting up and say, let's go get a drink. That doesn't happen anymore,
Right.
So just you don't have the same. Some friends, you almost fall off the face of the earth because you're so used to a certain type of interaction that when that's not available to you anymore, that it's almost like makes a barrier in your friendship kind of. So,
Yeah,
so it's kind of
totally. That makes sense, especially if it's something you're doing like every week.
right. Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
For sure. And so what are some of the major challenges that you're facing right now, a year in?
You're, um, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it can be depressing being at home all the time. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like just like not being able to go out and do something at night when you want to, being
Mm-hmm.
stuck inside all the time. That can
Mm-hmm.
be kind of depressing. And I feel bad because I have dogs that they want to go do stuff at the dog park with other people and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
we just don't do it as often anymore. We do it, but we do
Mm-hmm.
it late at night, when there's nobody there. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. It just could be a little depressing, but I'm ready for it to be
Yeah,
over.
absolutely. Yeah, so it's depressing you can't go out as much when you want to. Like, how have you like I guess coped with those challenges of not being able to go out as much and feeling depressed, things and what you just mentioned?
Well, I started one of those, I started talking to a therapist a little bit, like
Mm-hmm.
just something to have somebody to talk to because I'm not having those same social interactions with people that I would normally have to where I could talk about things and, mirror some of here's some advice. So I started, talking to a therapist just a little bit, just like once a week, you know what I mean? Or so that if I need it, just to kind of help balance things out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
help give me some
Gotcha.
perspective.
Yeah, for sure. And is this something that was like new to you? Like, had you gone to therapy before?
I had
Um,
gone to therapy before, but it was a long time ago, and it was kind of like a new thing. I was just like, well, it feels kind of I felt like I was kind of going for something that felt kind of trivial, like in
mhm,
the grand scheme of things. But I was like, but it's something that I feel like is necessary, before it becomes something, you know what I mean? Like where I'm just depressed all the time or something like
mhm.
that. So.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And has there been like a coping skill that you found to be like most helpful? Like, would it be therapy or has it been something else that maybe you've like picked up that's been most helpful?
Skype.
Skype. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Skype definitely. I'm able to contact my family. It's my family most of my family lives in Illinois. And so it's nice to be able
Mm-hmm.
to talk to them and see them face to face. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Since we
Mm-hmm.
can't have that interaction and just seeing people face to face, it just makes a big difference. You don't
Yeah.
feel
You mean
as,
like face to face online, like on
yeah,
Skype?
face to face online.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Like
Okay.
virtual face to face, I guess you'd say.
Mhm.
So, but
Yes.
it's a little bit more comforting. You know what I mean? I don't know. People need people, I think. So.
Yeah, definitely. Um, that makes total sense. So, Skype therapy, and have you developed any new coping skills during the pandemic that you have not used previously?
I do a lot more art related things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've taken up painting. I've always drawn and sketched and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
but I've taken up painting and, doing a little bit of sculpture a little bit in my free
Mm-hmm.
time. It helps me relax and kind of break free of where I'm at. So
Yeah, definitely. And so that's been something new. You haven't really done these
right, I
art
haven't
mediums
really
before?
sculpted or painted before.
Wow. How did you learn?
I watched a couple things on YouTube and then just kind of went from there.
Nice. That's the best learning tool when you can't like go to a sculpting class.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And what has been the most surprising thing to you over the last year?
Um, let me think. Most surprising thing. That's a good question. Uh,
Thanks.
I think that, I would say the most surprising thing to me has been the people, how they've kind of they will fight. If someone tells me that a certain thing, a certain protocol could save there's something going on and this could be something that saves your life. And
Hmm.
I'm going to usually try to do that thing that's going to save my life, like with the mask and stuff like that and social
Yeah.
distancing. Here they didn't do it for a long time. Like people just did
Hmm.
not conform to that. So it was that
Right.
really surprising. I figured that more people would get involved with that, especially when the numbers were getting higher and it just seemed like people just didn't care. It,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I really thought it would bring the country a little bit closer together. And I don't feel like it really, maybe it
Hmm.
was because we had a controversial president at the time or
Hmm.
whatnot, but it just, we didn't really come together as much as I thought it would as a country.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.